Okay, we're going to start off. First fly tonight is going to be the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was developed by Mike Ingram, who lives on the Little Missouri River there at Murfreesboro. And a couple of us, me and Dan Fromme, found out about it about 6 or 7 years ago from a couple of guys from Natchitoches, Burley Johnson and Vic McLean. We were fishing by them, and they was just mopping up, and we were catching a few fish. And they said, "Here, try this," and gave us a couple of Christmas trees, and we started producing. And so it was probably a Saturday. I don't know what day of the week it was, but midday, and they had to leave to head back to Natchitoches. I said, "Dan, you reckon they'll sell us a couple of those Christmas trees?" First time we'd ever seen anything. And said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, I'm going to go see." I went up and asked him, and he said, "No, we won't sell you some. We'll give you some." And we did, and they did. And that was before I started tying, but Dan was a tyer, and so he took it and made a bunch of copies. And we went back a few weeks later, and we started mopping up. And for several years, that was the go-to fly on the Little River. I don't use it near as much as I used to, but still, a lot of times you'll go to it and start catching fish. So I think Bill has described the hook we are using. It's what I have is a number 12. I think you have too. Jig hook, 60-degree bend in the by the eye of the hook, with a 1/8 slotted bead, tungsten bead, and you can tie it on a jig head. This is I think it's a number 10, even though the gap doesn't look to be as wide as the jig hook that I'm using. But I like to use the jig hook with a bead. Okay, we're going to start wrapping with red thread.
Carl, what color is the bead?
Bead is silver. It can be bronze. It can be gold. I don't know that it makes much difference. Lay down a thread base and then bring it back to the bead. And I usually take one strand of marabou, the olive marabou, and start tying that in. And a secret to, you see it's so fluffy, a secret to making it a lot easier, tangles with saliva real liberally. Pull that back, pull it with your fingers, and you see how it makes it all more like one strand, makes it a lot easier to work with. And we're going to tie it about that length. So I'm going to grip it here. A couple of loose wraps right behind the eye. And then I'm going to check my length. And that seems to be about the length I want. And that doesn't look like a whole lot sticking out there, but once it dries, it'll fluff back out. And then once you're fishing it in the water, it's gonna I have an idea that what it imitates is a minnow, some kind of bait fish that might be in the water. That's about all I can think of that it would be. All right, I'm gonna sometimes I go back maybe a half an inch toward the bend of the hook, but I'm not going to go that far this time. Mike Ingram, the guy that developed it, he makes his a whole lot shorter, and he doesn't use near as thread as we've been using. So I'm going to cut off that portion, that the stem portion, and then the next thing that goes into it is a couple of strands of rainbow crystal flash. And I take a whole strand out of the pack, and it's probably 15, 16 inches long. And I half that, and then take a half and half that again. And that gives me these two strands. So I'll take one end, tie that in. I don't know that it makes any difference that it's on the side or not. And then I take the other end and tie it in, and that gives a loop that I'll deal with later. Tie those two strands in. Once I cut this loop, it's going to end up being 4 strands of rainbow crystal flash, and cover up all of the crystal flash. And I have the little ends down here behind the eye, behind the bead. I'll cut them off, and then just finish up, make your red wraps. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want. Like I say, I'm not going as far back as I do sometimes. And then take
Carl, I can't see very good. How far back does your flash go in relation to the marabou?
Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
I can't even tie it in until I know something about it though.
Okay, well, I tie it in right behind the eye, and then my thread I wrap back. I did the wrap back about 1/4 of an inch. Now my loop on my marabou, on my crystal flash right now, probably goes back another 1/2 inch beyond the end of the marabou. I'm going to cut that about the same length as the tail of my marabou.
Okay, got it. That helps.
You see that, Mike?
Yeah. Yep.
Until it dries a little bit, it's kind of hard to tell. Now it shows up a little bit better. Can you see how long crystal flash is?
Yep.
It can be a little longer, a little shorter. And that's really all it is to it. I'm going to do about a 5-turn whip finish. And that's it. Snip the thread off. And it's ready to fish. Hold it up. Okay, any questions on that?
No, sir.
That's about it.
The first one you gave me had, I think, a little bit of Peacock Curl behind the bead. Did you just stop using that, or just?
Yeah, but I have done that just right behind the bead. Make a couple of wraps of Peacock Curl. I mean, it kind of dresses it up. I don't know if that's necessary or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, you'd probably want to make your thread wrap a little bit longer. But I've tried that. But basically, I'm not doing that.
And the pink one, you've never done that on with the pink one, huh?
No.
Paul's pink right there.
I'm gonna show you. one that Mike Ingram ties. If I can get it in my clip here. You see how much fluffier his is than mine. And I do that sometime. And the way to get it fluffy like that is just use more than quite a bit more marabou, probably 2 stems instead of 1, and pull it through a little straw. And then to get even, it's kind of even cuts at the end. And just pull your whole stems through a straw, and then with your scissors, cut off the end of that straw, and it cuts them real smooth and fluffy like that. And you probably get less short strikes like that because the end of the marabou is just about at the end of the hook. And so it's not as much sticking out there that he can miss. So there's different ways you can do it, but that's just the way that Mike does it. This might be one that he gave me, and I've started trying to copy his too. This one is one tied on a jig head, but it's just some variation that you can do, like on a whole lot of different flies, and it's just been a very effective fly. A story that on the Christmas tree that I've told a whole bunch, told to the guys in NAC, gave it to me. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was fishing up in Oregon on the Owyhee River, just a completely different, Western river, tailwater river, and big brown trout up there, nice fish. Anyway, the last day of fishing, the last afternoon of fishing is getting down to a 2-minute warning. And I mean, I wasn't getting a bite in anything. There were fish all around rising. I couldn't get anything to bite. I said, I'm just going to try a Christmas tree. They never have seen anything like that up there. Put a Christmas tree on. First or second cast, caught a 19-inch brown trout. I said, look, I found a secret. Well, I fished it and fished it and fished it for a good while. I couldn't get any more hits on it. And so I tried a bunch of other stuff that I thought they might take. Nothing else. And it was getting close to dark, and I knew that my buddies were about ready to go. It would be coming by to pick me up soon. And so I cast downstream. I was in a big pool, a slow-moving pool. And I cast downstream and was just following the drift downstream, just walking. And all of a sudden got another hit and set the hook on that, a 19.5-inch brown. And so when I went back to the camp, everybody wanted to know, man, what in the world is that? They figured there's no way to catch a fish on that, but sure enough. So I left a few up there with those guys, and so it'll work in more places besides the Little Missouri River. Now I'll usually fish it. I'll always fish it under an indicator, just like but some people will just strip it, and fishing under an indicator a lot of times, if you have any current at all, you'll get a fish. They'll take it on the end of a swing, just let it swing downstream, and just when it straightens out, sometimes you'll get a hit. So it's just a very effective fly. I have stood in one spot on the Little Missouri River at Hines Bluff, starting fishing about 7 o'clock in the morning, and had to quit about 9:30 and come home. I caught 81 fish on a Christmas tree in about 2.5 hours. So it can be a really great fly. Give it a try. It's worth it. It's just a real simple fly to tie, and I think you'll really find it is a good one.
Hey, Carlton, this is Catch. I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
You ever use floss instead of just wrapping it with the thread? And I wonder because, look at mine right here.
That's floss.
Sometimes leaves some spots in between where the thread doesn't give it enough coverage. And I think floss would probably do that.
No, I never have used floss for anything. I don't have it, don't really know what it is, but I think that I have wrapped, if you know what span flex is, it's a little thin silicone ribbon-like material, probably a millimeter wide, that I use for the whitetail midge. And I think I might have wrapped, you wrap that on the outside of your thread and it just gives it a shiny look. Is floss something like that?
Okay. The other thing is this the same fly or is this another fly? One that uses Peacock Curl at the very front, right behind the eye like this. See, oh, I've been spotlighted. Okay, good. Right there, right behind the head, using Peacock Curl. Just a little collar right there.
Yeah, Bill was asking about that and I have used that, but usually don't. But I have put Peacock Curl right, made a couple of wraps right behind the head, the bead. Anything that,
it's
something.
a case of why add another material when simple works, right?
Well, I think a lot of times the fish get educated and when they get to sore lip, they say, I ain't gonna do that anymore. And so if you change it up, it might help, So I think they figure stuff out after a while, after they've been fooled a bunch of times. So.
Carlton, we usually do a show and tell of everybody's flies, but I want to loop around everyone after we finish the second fly so we can just look at both of them.
Yeah. Any other questions on the Christmas tree?
Hey, Carlton,
Yeah.
what color thread are we going to use for this next one? Because I got so far behind on that last eye because I was changing out thread.
Okay.
Red thread.
Anything chartreuse, it can be olive or like a light Cahill or something. This I'm using, that's a chartreuse, but yellow, light green, it'll blend, whatever, something like that will blend in. The thread is pretty much buried on this green weenie. It's buried in the material, so if it's just close, it'll be fine. White or cream color, anything.
What about the bead color?
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I'm
Bead color?
using a silver again tonight, and sometimes I use copper, and sometimes I use a black bead. I have a feeling that on a overcast day, a low light day, black may be better. I hadn't been able to prove that without a shadow of a doubt, but I just have an idea that it might be better on an overcast day than a something shiny.
Carlton,
Thank you, Carl.
thread, you had red on that olive Christmas tree. Do you ever change up the color of thread on that? I know the pink that you do is pink marabou and fluorescent pink thread, but
Well, people that I fish with, they know I like pink. Pink just works a lot. Different flies on the little mo, and I've used pink thread, and I don't know that makes any difference. But if I'm using the olive That's all I use is either red or pink, that fluorescent pink.
So you do sometimes use fluorescent pink on with the olive marabou?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I hadn't tried that. I've used fluorescent pink with the pink marabou, but nice. I'll have to try that. And you use 140 denier. That helps wrap and cover that hook. Yeah.
well, I just got this 140. Everything that I've used before is 70 denier, but yeah, 140, it just will make it. When I first started tying, everything that I got, all the threads that I got was 72D, and then I went to what's the next one? That 136 denier, I guess. I mean, it makes you wrap so much faster and everything. And the flies that I tie are, I tie a bunch of really small flies sometimes, but I can still use a bigger thread, and I don't think it makes any difference. It's just less wraps, but more coverage.
Got it. Thanks.
More coverage with the same number of wraps, I guess, better way of saying it.
And I don't, Carl, since I didn't send you materials, I sent everyone gold beads for the, in which it doesn't matter which one you use, for 2 gold beads and 2 silver beads.
Yeah. I just don't think that makes any difference. Like sometimes when I'm tying the willy booger, I'll use a copper bead, copper gold, and like I say, if you tie it, if you're fishing it on a really cloudy day, a black bead may work better. I don't know that it does because there's still some flash in this willy booger material that so. Okay, are we ready for the green weenie?
I think so.
All right. Green weenie is now I'm calling it a green. I've been calling it a green for quite a number of years. I think originally the green weenie was tied with just plain chenille, like a medium chenille or something, but it without any flash in it. And I've caught fish with that, but once I started using this woolly booger chenille with a flash in it, let's see. I don't know if you can read.
Yeah, it's clear.
It's just medium woolly booger chenille in a chartreuse, fluorescent chartreuse. And I'm about out of that pack. I got the next pack I ordered is Antron chenille medium, but it's not a whole lot of difference. It may even have a little bit more flash in it. So I'm interested in seeing what it does. I hadn't tied any with that one yet. Okay, better take our thread. Just start off like we normally would any other fly. Make a thread base back to the base of the hook. Little secret that I found somewhere is if you'll hold the tag end of your thread up in the at about a 45-degree angle as you're wrapping back toward the bend, it helps to fill in keep the gaps full because it wants to ride down that tag end of the thread. It doesn't that's not real critical on something like this because if there's a gap in it, we got to cover that up with the piece of chenille. And I'm starting off with a piece. This is about 4 inches long. It's going to be long enough for one fly. if I'm sitting down to tie several flies, I'll start off with a piece about a foot long and just use what I need, finish up, cut it, and then tie another one out of the same piece. Okay, start off by pulling about an eighth, a quarter of an inch of the fuzz off of the end of your piece of chenille, and that gives you something to start tying in. And if you will take your bobbin while it's hanging there, give it a counterclockwise spin, then when you start making a wrap, it'll want to go back over what you're wrapping, what you start off, instead of wanting to loop up toward the bead, toward the eye of the hook. So I get it tied in, and I do it right behind tied in right behind the bead. And then I wrap back, and they don't have to be very close wraps. Go back to the bend of the hook. Make a couple of kind of tight wraps right at the bend of the hook. Can you see what I got there? Then the next thing we got to do is make a loop. About a quarter to a half inch, 3/8 of an inch or something in that chenille material. In other words, you're going to just take the tag in, come back toward the eye. The glare is where you can't see it, but out this part of it is just a loop. You understand what I'm talking about?
Gotcha.
Is
Okay.
the loop horizontal to the hook or perpendicular?
Perpendicular to the bend of the hook.
Okay.
Make about 3 or 4 kind of to where you start getting tight wraps. And then I hold the tag in, pull it back toward the vise, and get a wrap or two right under where it's pulled back. And then I bring my thread back to the bead. All right, then I take my tag in, and I'm going to wrap it all the way back to the bead. I make a complete wrap. Then I take my index finger of my left hand and hold that first wrap tight, because I don't want it to get away from my loop. And then make another wrap, and I about 3 or 4 wraps up to my bead. And I mean, you can almost cover up your bead with your last wrap. Make about 3 behind, 1 in front, and cut off that tag end. And that's all it is to it. And then I do about a 5-turn whip finish right behind the bead. And if you feel like you need to, you can put some head cement on, but I don't use head cement. Most of my flies fall apart from the back end, not the front end. You put 5-turn whip finish. That seems to hold things pretty good. And that's it. And that's about as simple as you can tie right there.
Is this thing meant to represent any particular kind of food item?
Catawba worm.
Who knows? You got to ask the fish that. I mean,
Trout.
you know, I was fishing in North Carolina one time about 5 or 6 years ago, stopped and asked at a fly shop. And I think that there's a fly that they called an inchworm. Y'all know what an inchworm is?
Yeah. Little chartreuse.
It's a caterpillar, yeah, about that color, that it inches along. In other words, the tail tries to catch up with the head of it, and then it goes along. And places where they have those like falling in the water off of trees or something like that, it probably imitates something like that. But I don't know. It might be kind of like the Christmas tree. It's what you would call an attractor pattern, I guess. I've tried a number of different colors. Last we in this hot pink here. This is a Victoria's Secret. We've been fishing it for several years. We learned that from
David.
David Chin up in Arkansas. He was at the Little Mo Fly Fishing Festival 2 or 3 years ago and showed us the Victoria's Secret. Let me get my vise out the way and but it's a lot of times very, very effective. Last week, the water was very muddy, and Sam Poole was fishing a trout magnet, which is just a little plastic piece of plastic on a jig head, and he switched to red and started catching in that muddy water, and the red seemed to work good. About a year ago,
Carlton, that Victoria's Secret, that is fluorescent red, regular fluorescent red chenille, is that right?
That's right. Fluorescent nylon, chenille medium red, and pink, but it's called red. And Cabela's or Bass Pro is the only place that I that particular material. Fluorescent nylon chenille medium.
But not woolly booger chenille for that one.
That's right. A couple of years ago, about a year ago, I guess, Bill and I was fishing next to some people at the wall hole up at Little Mo, and there was a lady out there. She was catching 5 times as many fish as the guys around her. And she showed Bill, I believe, this had with the pink, the Victoria's Secret material with a chartreuse loop. And after it's been in the water, the short next to that red, it kind of turns kind of yellow. But that's can be effective. I caught fish. Let's see. This one is wrapped with white, just a medium standard chenille in white. I've been fishing next to Sam Poole and with those trout magnets, and they'll just change colors till he finds out what they're working. I say, Sam, what color? He said, white green. And so I said, well, I'll try that. White and chartreuse. This is tied tonight. I hadn't fished these. This is a dark olive woolly booger chenille. But I figure in muddy water like it was last week, that might work, a dark color. If I had some black woolly booger chenille, I'd tie some of those. I hadn't tried that. That's variegated brown and olive, I believe they call that. But I mean, different colors for different conditions. It's been a really, really effective fly that, I mean, I keep a lot of those in my box. So, and about as simple as you can tie those up quick.
Carlton, you ever fish those for bluegill?
I think I fished the Victoria's Secret for bluegill. I mean, yeah, I know I have. I've caught bluegill on them.
Yeah, I can see particularly like throwing a couple of legs on the front of it right when you finish. Just, man, that'd be a killer bluegill fly.
Yeah, probably so, I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've fished up at Coatesville, or in fact at Cane River. I'll go up to Cane River in the spring, late spring, and last couple of years, and have caught quite a few nice bluegill up there on that Victoria's Secret.
Nice. That's a very, very cool fly. Yeah, the lady Carlton was talking about, there was a couple from Shreveport, and her husband had one of those flies, the Victoria's Secret body with the chartreuse tails, the only copy he had. And he had a chartreuse one or a Victoria's Secret. I don't remember which. And like Carlton said, she was out fishing. There were like 4 guys there with her. She was 5 to 1. And my wife's up on the wall hole there reading a book, and she said, "Why is she catching so many more fish than all the guys are?" Well, she's a better fisher person for one thing. she was tearing them up. It was something. So
Well,
you find that little Mo, they are very color focused as much or more than pattern focused, you think?
I think so, because I mean, I've been up there and we'll just be mopping up on a particular color, and all of a sudden they'll just quit. And you switch to another color and start catching again. I don't know. Of course, I've several weeks ago, a month ago, I started out fishing with a God's Choice hare's ear, which I found very productive there. And I don't know how many fish I caught. And all of a sudden, they just quit biting that altogether. Could not get another strike on one. I switched to what I call a Frenchie. It's not an actual Frenchie. It's a Chris Morris check nymph, kind of a little pheasant tail pattern. And started catching on that for a while, and then they'll quit on that. You know, you just need to change colors. If you're fishing anywhere, and you know there's fish there, and they're not biting your fly, I mean, there's no need in keeping throwing that fly. Just try something else, and that's what a lot of people. It's so much trouble to tie on, but look, if I can do it with my old shaky hands and bad eyes, it's worth doing to get the fish to bite. So,
yeah, that's good advice. All right, Carlton, thank you. Those are great flies. Let's see. Let's take a look at what everybody tied tonight. Let me go to my gallery view here. Let's take a look at what folks did.
let's see, Bill. Can I get in? I'm not into what everybody else is doing. Let me try.
Just took your spotlight off, Carlton. If you go to the gallery, I'm going to spotlight people. So as soon as I spotlight somebody, I'm gonna go with Flip first because he's at the top of my screen. So you should be able to see him.
Yeah. Okay, I've got him now.
All right, looks good. And Flip, you on your Christmas tree, you used olive thread or chartreuse thread?
I use chartreuse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Sure did.
And I bet this would be great with black marabou and chartreuse thread, or vice versa, chartreuse marabou and black thread.
Oh, by the
Be a white
I-
person.
I've used black, white and I've used pink. So it's just like with any of the other color stuff that we're talking about. I would say that that'll work real good, like with the one that has my green weenie with the white body. It just as they'll quit hitting the green and start hitting white. So yeah.
All right, Mike, we got you up front and center, Mr. President. So
Okay. That's the, I used 210 denier thread on all of them. That's all I could get rigged up in time.
so that was,
There's
yeah,
the
build up some bulk. That's good.
Christmas tree. And here's the, please feel free to criticize this if it needs it, because I'm supposed to be tying up how many, 30 or 25 Victoria's.
Victoria's Secret, yeah.
Perfect, Mike.
Looks good, Mike.
Well, I hope the fish say that.
I hope so. Let's see. We got Flip, Mike, Rich. I'm just going down my list and let's see. Hang on. Where's Rich? Oh, there he is. Hang on. I'm just going in the order of my my participant list here. All right, Rich. Let's see what we got. Oh, you can tell this is a Christmas tree and great experienced fisherman here. Looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Ingram was the one who fussed at me because I was tying mine too long.
Oh, did he?
Trees. Oh, yeah. He says, "Let me see your Christmas tree that you tied." And I said, "Here it is. I'm proud of it." He said, "Well, it's not mine."
So
All
how
right,
does
Tom,
he do
did
it?
you tie with us tonight, or were you watching? Tom,
Yeah, Tom's with you tonight.
Tom, did you tie or were you just watching tonight?
No, I did not tie tonight.
I'm tired. Look at there.
All right, Tom,
Zabosky.
Zabosky is next. Okay, like I said,
There we go.
list here. All right, Colonel, let's see what we got. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And there's my laser buggers I was working on this afternoon. I'm ready to go.
Good deal. You are ready to go. You are ready to go. That laser bugger is an exceptional fly, I can tell you. All right, let's see. Flip. I've got Flip. The catch. I'm coming to you. Just a second here. As soon as I find you.
Here.
Yep, there you are. Okay, hang on. I've got 19 spots on my screen. Okay, catch. Got you.
Let's see if we can get him in there. Okay, there we go. Top wing chartreuse doesn't look like it's like quite bright.
Yeah, he likes bright. Yeah, cool.
Christmas tree, could have used a little more marabou on there. So
That's about
next
how I
time.
tie mine. I tie mine pretty sparse like that too. So
Mm-hmm.
got your jig head hook there.
With the jig head, yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay.
1/124th, 28.
Yeah, I have. I still have a lot of these jig head hooks left.
Yeah.
I said bought a large inventory, but now the tungsten beads and barbless black nickel jig hooks have gone down in price. I'll tell you how much they've gone down in price. It used to be that the combination of one tungsten bead and one competition barbless black nickel finish hook was 75 cents.
Whoa.
That was 75 cents before you tied any materials onto the flop. And now, like Bill mentioned earlier, they've gotten a lot cheaper. So
Yeah, 9 cents for the hook and 15 cents for the bead. So
That's nice, Jeff.
all right, Jeff. Looks not. Oh yeah, here we go.
There you go.
That'll catch fish.
Guarantee it will.
I
Well,
like
it
those.
looks good too.
Yeah, very nice.
Good, Jeff.
Guarantee you. Let's see. All right, let me go down my list. Got Flip, Mike, Lewis. I've got you coming up next here. Let's see. Put the tie with us. All right. Got you back it up just a little. Oh yeah, you got some kind of like almost like Mike's.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it looks
Put a
good.
lot of marabou on there.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
I like wide gap hooks. I like the looks of that.
I didn't have any red thread, so I just used white
and then used a permanent marker to color it red. So I'm sure that'll bleed off, but
Oh, I bet it won't.
I don't will or not. That'll work.
That's innovation. We'll have to tag you for some tying here. All right, let's see. I think Peter, we got you coming up next.
Let's see. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's good.
the marabou is sparse, but I kind of like it that way.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Like I said with catches, I tie mine about like that, pretty sparse.
Yeah, very nice. Great flies.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. All right, let's see. Flip, Jeff, got Mike, got Lewis, got Mark. Let's see, how are things in Leesville, Louisiana?
Yeah, there we go. There's a couple closest. There we go.
That's good.
Good.
Oh, thank you.
Very good. Yep.
Thank you. I tied it real sparse on the marabou.
Yeah, that's good because I didn't send y'all much marabou. Shipping right now is like really, really problematic. Let's see, Paul, I got you coming. How are things down in Sugar Land?
Hanging in there.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you got your. I see you did one.
There's the one with the peacock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put the collar on that one there, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
And those first Carlton gave me with the peacock like that. And he told the story. I didn't quite match the 80, but the whole factory site there.
Ooh.
I was there, and that morning, in probably less than an hour, I caught 36 on one of these.
Wow.
It's a really effective fly. I mean, it really is. So you got catch, Jim. Let's see, Mr. Johnson.
You see it? Where's that?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
that's a
Oh,
mic.
yeah.
All right, how'd you get it fluffy? Is that 2 and you stripped it, or what'd you do?
It might have been, Bill. I hope so, because I got about 29 more like that.
Good. Did you break the tips of the marabou off to get it fluffy like that, or?
No, I did what Carlton said about pulling it and making it tight and then trimming it up. I mean, every other thing we tie, we try to make the marabou odd, where it's not all the same length.
Mhm.
And the first flies I got from Carlton was like that. So see, there's a pink one he had.
Yeah.
And so I tried to use it for a go by.
Mhm.
And now this is that spandex stuff or whatever he called it, that red. I don't know. I had it in a box. I didn't know what it was. And it's stretchy. And I put it on there and then I put UV stuff on top of it to kind of make it a solid thing. So I don't mean, that's a little overkill, but it's durable.
Oh yeah,
It looks good.
It's good.
That's the first time I had one of these, but I could see where that would, that'll be a brim killer too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
I've
Shows
caught
that
brim.
feel
yes.
good. Good.
Carlton caught brim on this at Fish Hatchery one time we were over there, but yeah, it is a brim bait too. So thank you, Carlton. I made sure I had to get my mentor there and make sure I did it right.
Good.
let's see, Dalen, I got you next on my list here. Let's see, hang on, coming in from Florida. Oh, nice. Now, your body on your Christmas tree, is that peacock or what is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's peacock. I didn't have red thread, and I kind of got ahead of the teacher whenever I heard peacock thrown out, and I got the idea of just wrapping the whole body on there.
Looks good.
Yeah, it really does look good. That's the nice thing about these flies. I mean, they're a good base for whatever you want to do with them. I mean, they're, colors, legs, whatever you want to add to them. These are great base flies. Very nice.
I missed it earlier. That's what I was tying up today, some sand fleas.
Do you have a pattern for that? You could email me. I'd like to take a look at that.
I don't. I kind of just tied this up today just off the top of my head, but I used the EP brush for the body right there. I used a little bit of the orange rayon yarn, just cut off for an egg sac, and then a couple little barred legs, and then on top right there is a rabbit zonker for the shell.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I guarantee that'll catch fish on the little mo too.
I bet.
Then I got the idea from this book. I wanted to share it with you guys. Definitely recommend. It's from Aaron Adams. He's the director of the Bonefish and Tarpon Trust. And this is much an encyclopedia of all, your saltwater prey, as far as bait fish, crabs, shrimp, all the way down to worms and, sea urchins, literally everything for saltwater you could probably want.
Well, that's cool. Very nice. Yeah, if you'll send me the info on that, I'll send it out to the membership. That's cool. Very nice.
I would recommend. I got this on eBay for like $6 or $7 used, and like you couldn't even tell it was used. And I think it retails for like $35. So definitely, if you're looking to save $1, look on eBay for used.
Got it.
Used.
Cool. Very nice. Very nice. Thanks. All right, let's see. Got Catch, got Tom, got Pitt. I'm just leaving you.
Hey,
Here, Pitt.
there we go.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice.
I got lucky.
Yep. Is that one piece of marabou, Pitt, or two?
It is. It's just one. You sent me some nice bushy ones.
Did I? Okay. That was by accident. If I'd have known they were going to you, I would have called.
That's awfully damn decent of you. I do appreciate it.
I just knew they were going to you, Pitt. Cool. Let's see. Got Jeff. Got Bruce. Did you tie with us or no?
Yes, I did. I tried to anyway. This is the first one, but I forgot to put the little legs on it, and then this is the other one here.
Oh, that'll catch.
My loop.
Yeah.
My loop is a little bit small. I'm still trying to learn the different techniques, and I kind of get lost sometimes, and then it takes a while for me to catch up. But I'm trying.
Doing just fine. It looks like.
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlton, when you said about the loop, that reminded me back of Flip's question about the orientation of the loop. You think it makes any difference whether it's horizontal or vertical on the fly on that weenie, or just
no,
water is going to move around?
I don't think it makes any difference because hopefully they can't see that hook, and so what difference does it make how it's oriented?
Yeah.
It's kind of, once it's in the water, it's kind of twisted up. And I'll tell you, on that Victoria's Secret, that the material is not real durable. And after catching several fish, your loop won't be there anymore. It'll just be like a little tag end of about a half inch. And it doesn't seem to work any less than it was before. I don't think that makes any difference. I think it's just something that's that color, that general body shape.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that. How when it gets torn up, it still catches fish. We pay so much attention to our flies. We'll catch a bunch of fish on them, and they don't look anything like they started, but they're still catching the fish.
My philosophy is I'm for catching fish, and I'm targeting dumb fish, or if I go to a place that has big fish like the White River, hopefully I'm going to run across some that is diminished, and that's gotten, but don't have much of a trace anymore.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. Well, we're up. Did I miss anyone? I apologize if I did. I think I went down my list. I've got 19 folks on the list here, so I'm trying to make sure I hit everyone. Carlton, thank you. That was great. Not only the time, the techniques, and the use behind those flies. That is extremely helpful. Very
all right.
So
thanks for helping me get set up.
Yeah, we do appreciate it, and we're up against the hour, so let's sign off. In 2 weeks, we're going to tie a version of a squirm worm. It's kind of similar to one Umpqua Feather Merchants does, where the squirming material goes through the bead, through the eye of the bead, which is it's just a nice variation on it. And we're going to do a smaller fly than we usually do, but It's one again that Carlton, based on his recommendation, it's a ruby midge, which is a red wire zebra midge, and we're going to tie it in the size 18. Squirm worm will be on a 12 like we used tonight, but the ruby midge, and I hope to get those materials mailed out this week. So if you haven't yet requested materials, jump on that form and do so ASAP, so I can be sure and get those to you. But look forward to it. Thank you, Carlton, and hope y'all can join us in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlton.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Carlton.
No, thank you, Carlton.
All right.
Good night, Mary Ann, John Boy.
Have a good night.
Good night, John.
Night, Flip.
Good night.